We all know that the HeadRush has amazing heavy tones, but the clean tones do not get enough attention. So let's talk clean. Let's go. Hey, I hope you are well. Now, I think we can all agree that the heavy tones seem to get a little bit more attention than the clean tones. And I know for one, I definitely tend to focus more on the heavy tones, especially in my videos. Now, why is that? I think probably because we all like to show off. Imagine that, a guitarist who likes the spotlight. Now, I recently popped up a video talking about my Les Paul Custom, and in that video I played a few different sounds, and one in particular was my clean tone, and it got a bit of attention. Now, I didn't use my HeadRush for that particular sound. I used my GT1000 core and a few other effects. Now, I do have a couple of secret weapons that I like to use on my clean tones. I've used these sounds almost exclusively on my upcoming EP, which will be out in the next few months. I'll obviously keep you updated, and you should check that out. Just for reference, this is the sound right here. When it comes to tone, I view the world in black and white. You've got crystal clear, clean tones, or heavy ass riffage and shred solos. I don't know what this light crunch crap is all about, but that's how I see it. So what I've done today is I've tried to replicate that tone in my HeadRush. Now, I haven't told you what I used in that clean tone, and that was, like I said, I used the GT1000 core. There's a little bit of compression. I can't remember if I had a compressor before the GT1000 core or if it was in the core. Either way, it's before the amp. If you've used a GT1000 core, you'll know that they've got the natural amp and the transparent amp. Now, I used the natural amp on that one. Very, very low gain. So keep it really crystal clear. I like it clean. If you're gonna have a clean tone, I think it should be clean. Obviously, I EQ to taste, and I usually use an IR in there based off a Marshall. In case you can't tell, I like Marshall. In the effects loop, I use the Boss Dimension C. Now, it's amazing. If you haven't checked that one out, check that one out. It's really, really cool. Now, of course, we live in a digital world, and everything is so easily made stereo these days. So I've got that in stereo, and it opens it right up, makes it super duper wide. So if you can, in any situation, I definitely recommend, especially if you clean tones, get them really big and really spacious. Use a stereo signal. It's not going to be that much of a difference. It's just one more lead. Easy as. Then there was a little bit of delay. I always had that set to the tempo of the song that I am playing, just so they stay in time and doesn't, get all wishy-washy. But the big thing on that sound is the Eventide black hole reverb, which is fantastic. There were so many great presets in there already. I didn't do a lot of tweaking, and I came up with something awesome. I recommend you check out the black hole reverb. It is one of a kind, amazing. And there's one more effect that I like to use all the time, which I didn't actually use in this clean sound, but I'm gonna mention it anyway, and that is the Boss Terra Echo. It is fantastic, does not get enough attention. I love it. Check it out. Rightio, now I've set up my trusty old iPhone here. As you can see, it's an absolute eyesore. Apologies for that, but that's the rig. So this is what it sounds like on the bridge pickup. Neck pickup. Now, it's not quite exactly the same, but it's still pretty good. So what I've done here, I've got the volume pedal at the start. I always chuck one in because it's just good to have control over your volume. Always a bit of compression. Now, this is my default. I've just got that set exactly like this. Pretty much on most of my rigs whenever I use a bit of compression. I don't like a lot, just enough to make it do something. Now, the amp, I used the 67 Black Duo, which is based off a type of Fender. I'm pretty sure that's a Fender Twin Duo. The bright, I haven't decided whether I want it on or off. So off. On. Pretty good, I like it. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I do lots of videos on the HeadRush pedal board, as well as just a heap of other things that I find interesting. All right, let's keep moving. Now, what did I do here? There's 52 treble, 55 mid, 60 bass, because I do like my clean tones to still be pretty fat. Even though there's going to be a bass player playing along with me, I still want the clean tone to have some kind of resonance and sort of bigness about it. Down here, vibrato's off, so that's off. Great, and that's the amp. Brilliant. Now then, I went into the chorus. Now, I'm pretty sure this one is based on the Boss CE1, but it does have a stereo option, and I've got it here set to 100% width. Low rate, sort of medium-ish depth, and a bit of feedback there, which is kind of cool. It's that sort of vibrato type thing. If you're going to do this sort of thing, I reckon sort of change your feedback there from rig to rig, and it really gives you a good bit of variety. So I'm going to turn it off. Still sounds fine, but it's not as wide. Now I went with that width because, like I said, I used the Boss Dimension C and it separates the signal really well. So I tried to copy that as much as I could with that one. Now I've got a couple of different delays, but I'm just going to go through how it's set up first, and then I'll show you why I've got this other one here. The IR, I've got my usual Tangerine in there, which is a 4x12, although this time I used a different microphone on that, just to give it a bit more of that sort of roundness to it. Now reverb, this one is the air reverb, it's just the ambient. So I used the ambient preset and then I tweaked from there. 3 seconds, probably could go a bit longer too, because like the black hole reverb, it just goes on and on and on and on. So you probably could just up that a little. Let's just try that. 5 seconds. That's pretty cool. I don't think I want it that big. 4 seconds seems pretty good. Size, maximum. Color, that's just a freak. I sort of swept around there until I found somewhere where I thought it sits kind of nice, still quite bright, and 24% mix. I always turn my tails on, although that time I didn't because I forgot. 24% mix, I didn't want it to take over, so 30% there, we'll try. Just turn it up a little bit more. That's pretty good, I like that. So then I've got the air delay at the end. Normally I would have my delays before the reverb, but in this case I thought it'd be cool to have each delay repeat have reverb on it, just to help give it that sort of bigness and that width a little bit further. So it's just a quarter note, ratio is 100%, so it's left and right 100% there. 20% mix, so not too loud, just enough, and only 13% feedback. Little bit of reso, the feedback reso. I don't like it doing too much. It tends to just ruins the sound, in my opinion. Like I said, I like them crystal clean. If there's too much modulation in the reverb and the delays, I personally think it ruins the tone. Sync on, tails on, very good. So that's that one. Now you could flip those and it still sounds great. Sounds good if it's in tune too. It's probably a bit big for that riff. I think that's why I had it that way actually. Nice. Now I put this other delay in here, and I put it beforehand because I want this one to come through a bit more. Now it's the dynamic delay, which is a digital delay as far as I am aware. Quarter note, 20% feedback, 30% mix, 50% ratio. So it's not so on the beat. It's going to be broken up a little bit left and right. 50% width this time, so not as wide. It's a little bit more down the middle. Bit of a low cut, bit of a high cut, so it doesn't take up too much of the space. See what I mean? It's just there a bit. Cool. So what do you think? Did I get it close? Look, I think I got it pretty close. I don't think it's exact. Obviously, I haven't put any EQ in there. I just wanted to see if I could get the sounds to be sort of similar to these effects pedals that I use. But while I'm here as well, I have also this clean tone, which is super interesting. Now, within that one, there are a bunch of parameters. There's a quarter note scene, there's a triplet delay scene, back to the normal, and there's a tremolo, and the effects loop turns on and off. Now this one is available in my Rock Gig pack, as well as this second delay clean patch. I use those two all the time. They're basically my go-to clean tones when I do cover gigs, and they work great. So that is it for today. Let me know if you like the sound of this clean tone and if you think you will use it in some form or another in your rigs. And make sure you check out all of those other effects that I mentioned as well. Not only do they sound great, but they are a lot of fun to use. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned, and I'll see you next time.